Hi guys, my name is Mr. Guillermo and today I'm going to show you how to simplify a fraction using a rectangle model and also how to simplify it when we know the greatest common factor of the numerator and denominator. Okay, so I want to start by reading the definition of a simplest fraction. We say that a fraction is simplified if its numerator and denominator have no common factors other than one. Okay, so the first step that we have to follow is we're going to list the factors of the numerator and denominator. And I already listed the factors of 36. You can see it here. I'm going to help you to find the factors, all the factors of 27. Okay, to start, we know that 1 will be a always will be a factor for any number. Okay, and when it comes to the number 2, we can't divide 27 evenly. Okay, so 2 is not a factor of 27, but if we add the digits 2 plus 7, that number is 9. Okay, and we know that 9 can be divided by 3. So that means that 27 can be divided by 3. This is one of the divisibility rules. So we can take it and we write 3. Okay. And then we can see that the next factor for 27 it's 9. In the last one, 27. Because if we take a look here, we are making factor pairs. 3 times 9, 27, and 1 times 27 is 27. Now these are the factors of 36. Our second step is we have to identify the common factors between 27 and 36, right? And after that, we are going to take the greatest of all of them, okay? So we list the common factors here. I have, well, 1 is a common factor. 3 is also a common factor. 9 it does as well. And 27 is not on this list. So I can find that my greatest common factor, because I got 1, 3, and 9, the greatest of all of them is 9. That is my greatest common factor. Okay, this is going to be uh, one of the crucial steps in this in how to simplify a fraction. Okay, now step 3, we have to find a number that when multiplied by the greatest common factor, talking about this one, equals the original denominator. Remember, our denominator is 36. So basically, we have to multiply our greatest common factor by a certain number that we don't know yet. Okay. And that's going to be equal to 36. Okay. Now, if we multiply 9 times, we don't know, equals 36. Well, that number should be 4 because 9 times 4 is 36, right? Now, this is, I would say, the most important step. Finding this number is gonna lead us to the simplest form of fraction. Now, step 4, we're gonna draw a rectangle and we're going to partition it into the number of equal parts that we already found in this step. That is 4. I already drew it here. I got my rectangle and uh, I partitioned this in 4 parts. Okay. I gotta make a copy of this because we're gonna use it later. And if you notice, my fraction is 27 over 36, right? But this rectangle It's not divided into 36 parts. To do so, I already divided into 4 parts. And I know that 4 times 9 is 36. So I need to divide in 9 more parts my rectangle. So I gotta divide it in 3 parts. Then each of these 3 parts I gotta divide into 3 more parts because we don't count. Up, go, 2 more vertical lines and we're done. Yeah. Now this rectangle is divided into 36 parts and I gotta take 27 parts because that's my denominator. So I gotta shade 3 sections because I know that 3 times 9, 27. Okay. Now this is very important because I can see here that the shaded area here is 27 over 36. Okay. And if I fit the same rectangle, because these are the same, I just made a copy of it. If I overlap this here, I can see that those 27 little parts that we shaded out of the 36 parts is going to be the same if we just shade only 3 parts out of these 4 parts. And now I can see that I have another fraction, and this fraction equals 3/4. And if you notice, we have the same shaded area. However, the second rectangle was divided in less parts. Only 4, not 36, like this one. So I can say that this is the simplest form of this fraction because they are equivalent. They represent the same fraction, the same quantity. Okay. Now, remember, our definitions say uh, a fraction is simplified if its numerator and denominator have no common factors other than 1. So we have to take a look. We're going to make sure that this is our simplified fraction. Well, you know that 3 gotta list the common factors of 3 and 4. For the number 3, the two factors are 1 and 3. And for 4, we have 1, we have 2, and we have 4. Of course, we have a common factor, and that is 1. But our definition says that it has to be a common factor different than 1. And we don't have a common factor other than 1 here, just the number 1 itself. So that means that this fraction is in its simplest form. This is already simplified. And we are done with our visual model. Now, I'm going to show you how to simplify the fraction only using our greatest common factor. Well, we know that 27 over 36, I'm gonna move here, we can represent like a multiplication, okay? And my greatest common factor, which is 9, I gotta write it here. 9 over 9. Okay. And now I gotta ask myself, okay, what number, if I multiply by 9, gives me 27? Well, that number is 3. And for 36, that number is 4, right? And we have to remember that this fraction here equals 1, right? Because 9 divided by 9 equals 1, or any number divided by the same number equals 1. And 1 times 3/4 is going to give me the same fraction, 3/4. Because if I multiply any number by 1, it results in the same number, 3/4. So that's it, guys. we already went through the 4 steps to simplify a fraction visually. Okay? And we got this conclusion that 27 over 36 is the same as 3/4. And if we use our greatest common factor, there is no need to do the visual model, but it's always helpful to have a visual model of it because if we have a representation of it, and sometimes it's easier for us. But when you are able to manage these skills, you will be able to use it to simplify the fraction using only our greatest common factor. Now, when you have the greatest common factor, you write the fraction 9 over 9, and all you have to do is find these two numbers. That's gonna give you the simplest form of the fraction. So thank you guys. If you like the video, you can subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Okay, bye bye.